So my name is Chaz and I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. Man, growing up in Bed-Stuy, if I be honest, it was rough. You know, the hustle life, selling drugs, using drugs, robbery, violence, all of that, you know, and it's right outside your doorstep. You know, I got into some of those things, you know, make a few dollars and trying to live. You have no role models. The role models are the drug dealers that you see on the block. You know, when you're coming up in poverty, you want more for yourself, but this is the only thing you think you can have. You know, my dad, believe it or not, he's very notorious. I was able to kind of follow into his rap a little bit. You know, people respected me because they respected my dad. You know, it was rough, to say the least. My dad was in prison for a majority of my life. You know, growing up, he got locked up when I was 7 years old, right before my 8th birthday. And, you know, my mom had her struggles as well. So I kind of just grew up kind of following their footsteps in the streets. And we lived in Bed-Stuy, we got evicted. And when we got evicted, we had to go into the shelter system. And we were in all different kind of shelters all over Brooklyn. It's roaches, it's mice. You know, that was probably the lowest time for me. You know, I went down to North Carolina. You know, I went out there with my brother. And I was really going out there for a change of pace and for a change in my life. But I ended up going backwards. I ended up doing everything, you know, I was doing in New York, but even worse. And I ended up getting locked up for a robbery. My grandmother was a Christian. And I remember before I got locked up, me and her had a conversation over the phone and she was crying. She was seeing the direction of my life and she was crying. She was like, you know, baby, all you need is God. All you need is God. All you need is God. And I sat on the phone, I listened to her repeat that over and over. That's where I kind of had a moment where I got to see I'm a terrible human being. I'm locked up, I gotta stand before a judge. And I remember one day, the chaplain sent out these pamphlets, but it had the gospel in the pamphlet and I read it. And for once, my eyes were open to what it means that Jesus died for my sins. So I think some of this stuff is starting to click, okay, if God is a judge, and I have to stand before him, I'm guilty. You know, but it's saying that someone took the punishment for my sin. And I think that made the world of a difference for me. And knowing that this judge can't just say, hey, I'm gonna just let you go home. You know, I'm guilty. And this righteous God saying, you're guilty, but I sent my son to take the punishment for your sin. And so it's just mind blowing. I started to walk with God right in that very moment. And it just started to transform me from the inside out. And so by the time I was getting ready to come home, I just started to sense that God was maybe calling me into ministry, to share my testimony, to share what he's done in my life and how he's changed me, and to share that with others. So man, I would be studying the word, and I would just have this motivation to teach others what I'm learning. And I had a mentor when I was away. He's actually a pastor now. He started several churches, but he was my mentor. We were in prison together. And he's like, you know, if God is calling you to something, then he's gonna do it through you.
Chaz was one of our founding church planters with me, and honestly, one of my best friends. And we both actually started Bible studies at the same time. And we were both trying to start churches at the same time. And so after our Bible studies, the first year we moved here, we would open each other's door because we were next door neighbors. And I'd be like, bro, how'd your Bible study go? He'd be like, yo, I had 4 people, I had 1 new person. And then for me, I'd do the same. I'd be like, bro, we had 1 new person, we got 3.
God had called him here, God had called me here. And we just kind of met along the way. 2 separate church plants, but then, you know, through prayer, we decided to merge together.
March 2020 rolled around. Chaz came to me and said, hey bro, I'm from New York. I understand the lay. You've got obviously spiritual training and seminary training and resources and other stuff, I think we could both benefit doing it with each other.
Okay, if God, you want me to do something in the kingdom, you want to use me, if it's going to be on you, I'll do it.
So you think about everybody in the Bible, when they come to Christ, they want to go back to the place. I think the Samaritan woman, right? When she has an encounter with Jesus and then believes in him, she goes and tells her whole city, right? So Chaz is the very representation of that.
I'm the thief on the cross. Like, that's me. Like, Jesus took my spot. And then he gave me access to him when I was completely guilty, you know?